Hi everyone, this is Tanya. So this is going to be kind of a quirky, fun episode. However, a warning advisory like you do in the movies and shows. This may not be for everyone. Um, this is my silliness. I'm just in a mood to do so before I go get some chores done, etc. Um, a lot of these things I'm going to bring up are nothing new. It's just my perspective, my experience, my gnosis. It's meant to be more fun and silly, maybe a jab at ignorance or other people. So if you don't like this type of thing, or maybe it offends you or bothers you, it's not specific to one person, one group of people. It's just some things I've encountered throughout my whole life, especially as a later adult, or as an adult, should I say, or late teens. That's what I meant to say. So, with that being said, yes, turn back now, turn off the camera, or well, turn off the video, not the camera. I don't edit my videos. It is what it is. What you see is what you get. So, basically, this is, like I said, a bunch of silliness, a bunch of rambles, a bunch of Tanya. As any of you may have watched before, Tanya is Tanya. Grab a cup of tea, coffee, libation, whatever serves you. This may be, I don't know how long this will be, but we'll see how this goes. I'm drinking some nice apple pie chai in my Don't Ghost Me cup. Don't ghost me. Yeah, I'm a quirky. Um, Especially as I start coming out of my shell and embracing my pot. Oh my gosh. My, from the Witch's Black Pied, which I have done on that. Don't mind my camera, I'm just trying to move it to adjust it. And with the Witch's Black Pride, I've been trying to embody myself, my truth, kind of what I squelched and hid behind for quite a while. And the Tanya who's been there and was there is re-emerging. So yeah, so you're seeing that. And with that comes my voice and my quirkiness and who I am. So, and it feels damn good in many ways, certain ways, yeah. Yeah. Your face reality, certain things do hurt or you're alienated, but yeah, whatever the case. Be yourself, be an individual, be authentic. Just be the best version of yourself for yourself. Um, the others that will accept you and will understand, and those that don't, well, they probably never really did in the first place. and that, so such. So to get into this is, as I said, a bit of silliness, a bit of rambles, and that instead of me doing a third installment this week, the thinking of which tales of personal haunting as I do, this is kind of an exchange while I have the energy, the time, and just because I'm in the mood for it. So this is a video of, I'm going to call this one probably, you asked this? You, really? Or do you really mean that? Or what? This comes to witchcraft, my spiritual path. I'm sure so many, like I said, in the collective and in the world and cultures have experienced these misconceptions each and every day in every shape or form. Maybe it's ignorance, maybe it's personal ignorance, maybe it's opinion, maybe it's because they just never encountered it, experienced it. Maybe they have blinders over their eyes and experience. Maybe they just haven't embraced their truth or shadow or authenticity, or just have low tolerance. I don't know. Like I said, not a personal jab at anyone. If you hear a lot of background noise, seems to be my neighbors are really active with motorcycles, house renovations, such, and whatever. It might look like I live in an isolated forest area, but it's, yeah, house to house. But yeah. So again, this is not about all that stuff. I'm just giving you that in this. And like I said, this is just kind of a free-form video. Um, so basically, without hopefully not saying too many times, I'm just poking some jabs at myself, all in good fun. So, what did you say to me? It's kind of like I said, what this is the theme of. With questions pertaining to my witchcraft, my magic, my practice, my tarot card reading, my mediumship, my gifts, um, and just general other things about aesthetic, etc. Having to come with the witchcraft and having to come with the gifts and being quirky, unique, and different. So yeah. So basically, I'm just going to pick randomness, as I said. So if you enjoy this, I hope so. If not, well, yeah, it's my jam. Um, so basically, one thing, another I'm going to bring up because, of course, I've been a witch and practitioner since, well, officially, if you watched my reintroduction video and some other ones, since I've been officially like 15, but I know I've been my whole life. I know I was different in that, but I was kind of a good Christian churchgoer, not obviously by choice, but by circumstance and how I was raised. Not completely, but enough to be that, yes, I went to a Methodist Christian church in a small rural community. I was in church groups, etc. Bible school, vacation Bible school, all that fun stuff. Not fully indoctrinated, thank Goddess and thank spirits that be, but enough to be the foundation. Enough that deep down, even as a child, because I was very perceptive, very quiet, very receptive, and just very internalized and very focused on the world and the world about me. That basically I knew it wasn't for me. I knew it wasn't right what I was seeing experience when it came to spirits, energies, interactions, what energies I saw and experienced where people's energies words did not meet their energies or actions, things and places. Was attracted to different things but kept it in until I was a teenager, and then I stopped going to church around that age, 14, 15. And yeah, just because I did. Kind of wasn't for me. There was just no fallout. I did. Now this first one is going to be pertaining my father and others at different circumstances too. When I came out that I was a witch. Many of you probably have these types of stories in your life or different experiences when you come out to people you know, work with, and in your relationships that affect your day to day, or maybe at least assumed it. So first thing, so I kind of came out, I think in my early 20s, to my father and mother. My mother, completely receptive, completely kind. My mother, I am blessed to have such a great maternal figure that was loving, guiding, accepting, and a version of what it's like to be the divine feminine. So I have that blessing. My father, on the other hand, yes, he was supportive. He was a good provider, taught me many lessons, but we're not going to get into that. I had a fucking father issues. You'll probably hear me a lot swear in this too. Yep, me. So, but we're not getting into that. But he kind of said, he has moments like 50-50 where, he's very accepting and open-minded, and then he goes through periods where he isn't, and a lot of really gray, self-oriented, not a horrible person, but horrible enough. But again, this video isn't about that and just about that, just to give you a general thing. So he said to me, and my mother was just asked a few simple, kind, inquisitive questions and listened, as she always does. So yes, so that was great. And I wasn't worried about telling her anyways, to be honest. However, he was just like, it was about the time he was watching the History Channel a lot and stuff. And again, it was somewhere around 20, in my early 20s. And yeah. Oh, are you, so basically this, because he was been in and out of the church and in and out of trying to become a deacon and all that, but gave it up years before this, that I'm mentioning in that time frame, that he basically, oh, I saw that on TV. Are you so you must worship the devil, right? You must be something like that, because I just saw that. This was around Halloween, of course, in the fall season. You must be. So obviously a lot of that stuff was playing on the History Channel, as they do on many channels during the fall season, and it's perpetually approaching Halloween in Samhain. But yeah, so basically it's like, no. Basically, I always thought my father was more educated than he was. Even though he didn't have a higher education, he always did. And I looked up to a lot of his wisdom. But as usual, I was just like, no. I tried to explain to the best version of myself. He kind of dropped it. One of the few times he did, but he dropped it. So, yeah. And of course, I got that a second time, well, multiple times at different levels. When someone, I'm not going to name exactly what relationship I have with them or what to, but also asked, especially on TV, is she she a devil worshiper? Does she worship Satan? Does she do those sacrifices or other things that I saw on TV programs or this? Now, um, of course, the person that was asked that question in perception of myself actually was very, kind of explained it, I guess, in a kind way since I was not present, but they did be very honest and tell me about it. And it was in the beginning of the relationship I had with the person that had this happen. So yes, there goes about perception right there and other people that are around you's perceptions. I have, okay, so that's the typical one, no surprise. Second one I'm going to bring up here is tarot cards and prophecy and gifts. How possibly do you have that? You must be really weird. You must be, how do you know it's real? Where are you getting your information from? How do you know that from a picture card of decks? Well, I guess this is multiple things in one, but again, just freeforming. So I didn't take any notes or anything, just on the fly. So basically, so how do you know this stuff? I just do. I just do. I always did. I always saw spirits. I always, as I mentioned a few moments ago, I always saw energy, spirits, and different things, felt different things, saw different things, and things that I possibly couldn't have known of its unexplained phenomena, knowledge, experience, etc. A lot of it I didn't understand, and more I've got clarified with age, experience, and maturity and practice. But also there's so much I don't. But that's of course of the human experience. You learn, but you're not going to learn everything or understand everything. But yes, that was just a gift I've always had. But as I got older, and I got my first tarot deck when I was about 18, but again, that's when I started reading on a regular, just intuitive level with the Crowley Thoth deck, which I still have. She is battered and been many places, met many people with me, but that was the first medium for my gifts that I did other than seeing spirits. Oracles didn't come until a few years ago, Oracle decks meeting. I never really had much of a user connection until a few years ago when I actually found like two that were actually very good and seemed to resonate. And since then I've had many that have resonated to me and work with my other decks and complement my gift as I embrace it and learn and grow it. I've also, the mediumship and the speaking with spirits has increased exponentially over, I would say, the past 10 years, but especially the last 5 or 6. Maybe it was due to my near-death experience I had. I almost died. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but I had a major health issue with my diabetes, and yes, almost died. So, could be that. That was also to kind of tie in. That was one of the first experiences I was in the hospital for that for several days, recuperating and healing, that I didn't see any spirits during that time. I was kind of more focused on the healing and the environment, but I didn't see or have any interaction, so I find that kind of strange. That was the first and probably the longest period I've ever had that. You would think I would have been in the hospital. But yes, I've always felt the stuff, so I'm very clairsentient. I see spirits in different forms, shapes. They come to me in different ways. But then I started becoming more clairaudient. You hear it in your head and you think, like, what the hell? But how would you know, like, for example, like someone, how do you know that stuff? How would you know that stuff about my mother, my grandmother, this and this, or the circumstances of this? But it sounds just like them or what they used to say. Because they're here with us. That's what my message is. They're here with us. I hear that. I feel their presence. And then I try to explain it in a logical, common sense type of thing. So, yes. So how do I know it? Well, maybe it is. Sometimes I do think I'm strange, insane, or questioning, but I've had too many experiences, too much gnosis and validation not to know that my gift is real or that I'm not channeling spirits, entities, ancestors, the dead, or deities, or connecting with the land spirits that I have here or in the places I came from, or the place where I came from, which was where I grew up. My family still lives there, but yeah, that land is pretty fucked up. Let's put it that way. Very mixed energies. So that's basically how do I know? Because of my experience, my own personal validation, the experience and what I've explained through my practice to others and seen, and others that have the gift have also collaborated or whatever. So yes. So the next thing I'm going to bring up on that is, are you going to curse me? Do I have a reason? I'm not one of those witches that shies away from cursing, hexing, or baneful magic. Never was. I went through a period of time many years ago where I was a little bit, little bit, let's be honest here, quite a bit more apprehensive for that. But kind of retrieve that balance. You can't always have love and light. There's darkness, shadows everywhere in life. You can't have the light without the dark, and you can't have the dark without the light. Polarity is a big thing to me in my practice now. So, yes, so I don't shy away from that stuff. If that's not your cup of tea, well, it's what works for me and my experience. Now, do I do it all the time? Hell no. But if needed and as appropriate with complete logic thinking, and do I really want to use my energy for this? Take the time, effort, and energy to do so. If it seems reasonable and other measures on a mundane or regular level have not worked, well, yes. But to be honest, why would I just curse you for the hell of it? There's no reason, there's nothing for my benefit. It's too much fucking energy waste, to be honest. And too much it might come back to me. Why would I curse you? Is there a reason to? And I kind of smirk at them. Not in a like thing, but it's kind of like you're rolling your eyes. So, of course, that. No. Okay, so another thing is on that. Oh my God, you're gonna go. That goes into the devil thing. You're gonna go to hell. You gotta give that up, or blah blah blah. You need to save your soul and find God. Which God? It's my opinion. I was not a polytheistic witch until a few years ago. To be honest, I really didn't work with specific deities and such for most of my life. But about 10 years ago, 8 to 10 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't know. But Hecate came to me as little subtle signs, and then bigger signs eventually started coming, where it was no longer coincidence or just maybe my interest was piqued. No, she was stepping forth, and in a big way. She is now my patron goddess. In regards to that. So she was my first, and I worked with her several years. Slowly, I still learning, growing, and building a relationship. A lot of my stuff is I do study. I'm big on reading, studying, and that. But a lot of my stuff, as I get older, mature, and become grounded in my practice and what's right for myself in my practice and what I work with, and for my benefit, of course, is basically that. It's by unverified personal gnosis, UPG. But yes, and that's what works for me and resonates with me. That doesn't work for everybody. This again is me, my gnosis, and my practice and my experience. And so there was that, and then of course eventually for years, and then Hades came into the picture a couple years ago, slowly, and then he comes and goes at different points. He did go away for a couple months this year and then came back with a bang. especially to participate in certain magic, which came to my benefit on that. But he has an interesting presence and not much like the folklore. Um, so that's why I'm trying to get a roundabout way that I do work with Venus. I do work with the goddess Hel from the Nordic religion and mythology. I do work with touching base solely with Lucifer and Lilith. Again, just how they come to me. It's kind of interesting on how that I have the attraction, but they kind of come to me in step four. You're kind of going to work with me, and this is how we're going to work together. But I also do assimilate to see if it is something that's going to work for me, because of course it's me, my benefit, my well-being, and what works for me, and what I believe is going to be a mutually beneficial relationship to walk together with. So, in my opinion, is if there is the hell on that, which I do believe there potentially is, I'm going to be in the front of the bus listening to Highway Hell and go there. But yeah, I don't think so in my beliefs in that, but we're not going to go into the specifics of that. Am I going to hell? No, because I am a good, kind, compassionate person. I do the best I can to learn and grow from my mistakes. I'm kind to others. I'm kind to animals. I'm generous. I am just me, and to be honest, I don't try to bother anyone. I'm just a big introvert. So yeah. So when they say that, or you should get rid of God, which one? That depends on, usually it's more me thinking that and not saying that, because that opens a can of worms. Or many cans of worms. It's better to know when to say something and react, and better in most cases just to step back and let those be. But yes, that's a what did you say to me kind of thing. Do you want me to say that to you? And then you get the stuff where if you are, so we covered the cards, we covered the practice, we covered the hell type of thing, or multiple deities thing on that type of thing. Covered where does your gift come from, or how do you know it's real? Oh, and because here's another one. This goes to the aesthetic thing. Tanya, myself, loves black. And it's nothing, the color black, the energy of black. It's nothing to do specifically with being a witch or such, but it is, or anything like that. It's because it's such a lovely color. It's what I resonate with. It is slimming, effective, matches many things, and complementary. So I like that, so I wear a lot of black. And so with that, even when I keep myself in the most muted level as that as which, and just exist, like at work especially. This was someone I used to work with for many years ago at my previous job, not my current one that I just started, but my previous one. He was a great guy, he really is. He's a lot of fun, but older. And as I said, knew him for many years. But because I wore black, and even though I was toned down and wore black, they knew I was a tarot card reader and collector. Not to the extent that they know, but they knew enough. I don't hide that type of stuff. I have it for quite a many good number of years. But you're dark. Huh? What? It's kind of like, I kind of said it that way. Like, what? No, you're dark. You wear a lot of black. You must be really dark, right? And you're one of those kind. You're very unique, and I got that from a couple of people. You're so different. You're such a unique person. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? It's not that by saying that can be a compliment, but in many cases it's all about tonality in the voice and in the energy. You're like, and out of the approach where it comes from. Really, kind of think before you speak. There's a filter for a reason. Would you like me to come out and say certain things to you? Probably not, or make assumptions. I mean, that's human nature. I do it too. I'm not saying that. But it's also kind of think before you speak. I mean, in this circumstance, when my coworker, he said that, he wasn't being malicious, but it came out of like left field completely. Like it was not even pertinent to the situation we had, the experience we were having on that. And even at that time, I really wasn't working considered the darker left-hand path. Um, I was just working with Hecate pretty much. But they didn't know that. You didn't know that I was working with a dark goddess. You didn't know that. Um, but yeah, but I kind of was offended. But that was, of course, an offense at something I was dealing with at the time. And now that I'm much more dealt with my shadow and healed and embodied myself. So now it kind of would be like, thank you. Kind of, that. I didn't go off. I was just like, whatever. But I guess I was kind of offended, to be honest. But yeah, now I would just laugh. So see how time and circumstances and embodying that can do that. You sacrifice children, I've gotten that, or babies, or animals. Huh? No. Sacrifice comes from, it's not that type of sacrifice. I wouldn't do that even. I love animals. Well, not skunks, things like skunks, but I do love, or things like that, or the animal kingdom, like spiders and stuff. But would I not sacrifice? No, no. That's not me. Sacrifice is a different form, and for those that I believe are receptive or open-minded or willing to listen or have that type of relationship or experience, then I will say not that type of sacrifice. Sacrifice has to do with your time, your devotion, your reverence, being true to yourself, your path, working on yourself. Many deities work in exchange for what's not serving you, kind of an exchange of releasing what doesn't serve you to serve them, that type of thing. Things like libations, natural things found in the natural world, that are offering, or things they tell me. Most of it is, it's unique to each person's path and Gnosis. And even if you are on a regular religion or non-spiritual, we all have our different practices and our different beliefs, and that's great. I don't believe in that. Yes, I do believe in blood magic. Do I use it all the time? Not very much, but no, I do believe in different exchanges of the physical on that, but this is not about that or what the ethics or morality of that is. As I said, to each their own. Do we all judge others or ourselves? Of course. But yeah, but that's really not anyone's business, and that's an old, outdated misconception. I'm sure there's things that still do certain things. I would say that throughout the world, or people that kind of still don't have any qualms with that. But again, with that. So yeah, so of course not that. And I don't I don't go into a lot of stuff anymore. Before I felt like I had to kind of explain or try to change someone's mind. Why? Why did I feel that way? Because I was indoctrinated that way. And I still experience that and still trying to push through that, but yeah. So we are getting almost 30 minutes here. Just a couple more ramblings, I guess, if you've got this far. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Or if any of this resonates or any of you experience this in some shape or form, even on a regular non-witchcraft or spiritual path thing, we've all experienced different forms of things like, what the fuck did you say to me? I didn't think twice type of thing. Would you like that said to you? That type of thing. That's all. It's all part of like how society is in the world. So yeah. But if you made it this far, thank you. Oh, excuse me. So basically, while I take a sip of tea here, let's think. Those common things are. Oh, here's my favorite one. This is kind of what prompted this video. I got a couple. It's more of a joking and again more of a fun. you go in. So you are a witch. Witches are not supposed to be in church, and it's not even explained in the denomination. Church is going to set on fire, or you're going to set on fire. Well, I'm still here in this physical human vessel, am I not? So yeah, even though I'm not Catholic, my husband is. Got married in a Catholic church. I was raised a Methodist, like I said. So I kind of was behind the Methodist thing for when I got married to him. So obviously that, and his church is a very welcoming Catholic church. I actually don't mind going to it whatsoever. I find it very actually calm. It's a beautiful church. Not a huge cathedral, but a church not far from home. Um, and I haven't had any experiences there that have been off-putting or offensive to myself, like I have for other religious branches that I have gone to throughout the years, but through different experiences or with the people I had relationships with, trying to be respectable, meaning I hope for the respect that would someone show me, I try to do so too. That's how I am. I'm big on that. But as I grow older and more experienced and embrace the truth and reality, most people are not that way with tolerance. So I went to a church yesterday for a funeral mass. Someone in my husband's family died. We're not going to get into that because, again, that's something. But went to that church person that I got married to, and I've been to a couple dozen times. Not often, but as a couple years. But I've been there many enough times. So, did the church burn down? No. Did it burn down previous to that? No. Since I work with Goetic bands on a small level and other things like Lucifer on a conscious level, as I'm getting my feet wet and seeing what works for me and doesn't, that's the thing of human experience. What works, works. What doesn't. But it doesn't hurt to try, as long as it's not something that's going to hurt you, kill you, or hurt others. But to be honest, because I am honest for the most part and vulnerable, I used to go to that church because, again, being raised in a Methodist church, I would go there, and even though I didn't feel anything, well, I felt some of the stuff and still felt the presence of the Christian God or Jesus. I still felt that. I mean, I still respect that there is such a thing. I don't just completely dismiss that or the validity of it or the experience I had growing up. But I used to still feel stuff in energies. This time, since I've kind of embraced more and more of myself and my truth and actually face reality, instead of pretending and hiding, going along the flow of kneeling down, looking and singing what I knew of the actual hymns or of like the Lord's Prayer. No. I quietly sat there with my hands folded, my feet crossed, respectfully. My husband did what he does, that's fine. He's respectful of mine, I'm respectful of his. That's how it should be. The others, I don't know about those that were behind me because I didn't look or rubberneck, but basically I did get some looks. And for those that really didn't say anything, I felt it. I saw it in the aura. But as long as you're not being disrespectful, what the hell does it matter? Like, why would I kneel down before a God and something that I don't feel anything for? I felt nothing this time of anything of the connection I used to have. If anything, I saw spirits. The spirit of place, or is a spirit of that church. It was respectful, acknowledged me, I acknowledged it. I saw some other spirits pass through of the person that's deceased. I saw them, they're at peace, which is wonderful to know and very reassuring. But yeah, I didn't feel that, and you used to kind of feel the impression of all the eyes looking at you and all the judgment of others. And you being the only one, because if you're not Catholic, obviously, even if you are of a Christian religion, which they're two different things, but still, that basically I would kind of feel pressured in that. This is the first time I didn't do any of that. I just sat there respectfully and watched and observed, but felt nothing, no connection. Well, in a way, that's actually for me, that's showing that kind of, I don't feel guilty about it. I was myself while being respectful to others and being respectful to my husband. And that was the first and foremost I went because he's tolerant, me, I'm tolerant of him. That's how relationships should be. But that's, again, that's my personal opinion, as all of this is. But the church is still there. I'm still here. Everything's fine. People are, I'm just going to put it this way before I wrap up this long video, is that people are fine and claim to be tolerant and very open-minded and stuff, as long as you do what they think is along with it. and what makes them feel comfortable. No, no. Most people are not comfortable around each other. I'm not comfortable around most people, to be honest. It's kind of what's coming out of your mouth versus your energy. Your aura tells me the truth. Your energy tells me the truth. Well, thank you for judging me. Oh, well, people, I judge you too, because I'm a human, but I can admit that, at least I'm myself, and I don't have to hide behind a facade. That's how I put all of that. But again, if all that was ignorance throughout the years, not coming into some contact with someone like myself, if for some reason, even when I'm in the brightest pink of colors and floral patterns and look completely normal, devoid of any jewelry, any vocalization about my craft or energy, and just being, living, and being in a mundane moments and experience, the witch still speaks up. The witch energy and my gifts still speak up. But those that are accepting, receptive, or try to be intolerant, they are. Others that don't, well, whatever. It's my path, my life. So thank you for bearing with me on this ramble. Hopefully you get some type of value out of this, or a chuckle. I know I did. And thanks for bearing with me in this. If you have any comments or that, give me a thumbs up if you made it this far. And I hope you all have a blessed day.